We're in a 2018 Ford Edge. We're going to do a plug-and-play remote starter that activates from the OEM remote. I'm going to start by removing the steering column cover plastic. We have a T25 Torx in the for the front screw here. I'm going to remove that. And then in the back we have a 7mm that we're going to remove also. We're going to use a plastic tool to create a gap in the steering column cover plastic. We're going to insert the plastic tool Once we've created the gap, we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove the steering column cover plastic. I'm going to fully extend the steering wheel, move it to the full up position, and lock it into place. Okay, we're going to look through the opening we've created by removing the steering column cover plastic. We're going to be plugging our T-harness into this module here. The plug for the module is in the back and the clip is facing down. We're going to reach around and we're going to unplug the plug from the module. At this point, we're ready to install our T-harness. We're going to install our remote starter that is activated by pressing lock 3 times. This harness has a interrupt or starter kill switch that will override remote starting. We want to make sure we have the switch in the off position. Off means remote start override is off. If I turn the switch to on, it would mean remote start override is on. So we're going to put the switch in the off position. We also have a Type 1 and a Type 2 selection on our T-harness. Type 1 would be for vehicles that do not have an OEM remote starter, and we have that plugged in. This vehicle does not. If the vehicle had an OEM remote starter and we wanted to install this device so that we could interface a smartphone controller or another device, we would use the Type 2 setting. But vehicles without an OEM remote starter use the Type 1 setting. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in our T-harness. So we have an end that's going to accept the plug we removed from the module underneath the steering column here, and then we have the plug that will go into that module. So it's probably easiest to plug the harness we removed into our T-harness first. So we're going to go ahead from the underneath, and we're going to find our cable, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in. It's just above the gas pedal here. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in our harness. Now with our harness plugged in, we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug the male end of our T-harness into our module. So we're going to plug the male end of our T-harness into the module. We're going to make sure we push it all the way in so that it locks. We are now ready to begin pairing our device to the vehicle. So we're going to make sure we have a fob in the vehicle. We're going to activate the ignition to the vehicle by pressing the push to start button. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to press the push to start button. When we do this, the light's going to flash yellow, flash green, and go out. This is an indication that programming was successful. We're going to press the push to start button again to turn the ignition off, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to test our remote starter. We're outside of our vehicle. We're going to activate remote starting by locking the doors 3 times. Remote starter is triggered. The vehicle will run for 15 minutes. We can go ahead and we can turn our vehicle off from the OEM remote also. Okay, now this device activates the OEM menu system for the remote starter functions, just like you purchased the vehicle with a remote starter. To view the menu options that have been unlocked, use your steering wheel control to toggle through the menu settings. We're going to select settings and we're going to select vehicle and we're going to select remote start. This will give us the option to turn the remote starter on or off, and will give us an option to set the desired runtime, 5, 10, or 15 minutes. If we have a heated steering wheel, we would be able to select the steering wheel, and the climate control is the heating mode that has been selected.